Hi all, welcome to my channel. I'm David, sending my Chinese New Year's greeting from Hong Kong. I've been following everything about the three-body problem trilogy for quite some time. I'm sorry, the official name of the trilogy should be The Remembrance of the Earth's Past. I've read the Chinese version of the novels on and off for 4 to 5 times, and still trying to dig out as much information as possible about the novel, about any audiobook, radio show, about the writer, and just everything about the story everywhere. A month ago, I started to follow the newly launched animation series on Three Body Problem, released by Bilibili and a Chinese studio called YHKT. But now I may have to put that aside and just start to follow Tencent's TV series named Three Body Problem. Um, there are a couple of reasons why I want to put aside the animation series and focus on Tencent's newly launched TV series now. First of all, the TV series starts from the very beginning of the trilogy, the three body problem, while the animation actually basically just kick off from book two. So from storyline point of view, I think it made more sense that we start from the very beginning of the story. The second reason is the feedback. Basically, on Douban, which is the Chinese version of IMBD, the animation's score has dropped to 4.4. Not 4.4 out of 5, but out of 10. So basically, Three Body fans already see that series as a failure. It's a big disappointment. Meanwhile, the Tencent show is enjoying a something like 8.2 out of 10. As a follow-up visualization work of a script masterpiece such as Three Body Problem, 8 point is not a bad score at all. I think that basically means the vast majority of Three Body fan base like the Tencent adoption of TV series of the novel. That's why I'm very interested in doing more video on that series as well. Also, I think the third reason is that I'm also eagerly expecting the release of the Netflix version. That version has bigger budget, more, I don't know, famous producers, a lot of international directors and actors for that show. So I will be very interested comparing the two TV shows from different productions. That's why I want to focus on a TV show and to put aside the animation for now. Maybe, just maybe, after we finish the whole season one, we may come back to the animation series to see just how bad it is. So for those reasons above, I decided to put up my review series on the 30 episode Tencent Three Body TV show. Basically, I would do review on 3 episodes. Each time is altogether that would be 10 review videos on the TV show, and probably some extra information and knowledge or whichever part that I see interesting. I'll just put up more video. I strongly recommend you watch the Tencent show first before you click through this review, because there will be spoilers from a hardcore Three Body fan. I will be gabbling all the way about all the details. So please don't let the spoilers ruin your viewing experiences. Just go watch the show first. They're free on YouTube, on Tencent's YouTube channel. Basically, Tencent release 4 episodes each week for free members. And if you pay a little bit extra to join their membership, by the way, this video is not sponsored by anyone. Obviously, I'm too small a YouTuber. I'm not even a real YouTuber for any sponsorship. But if you pay a little bit for the membership, you can have access to up to 6 episodes each week. At least based on my experience, I paid for the membership and enjoying every moment of the show. And I don't know, 6 episodes a week is just not enough for me. A lot of times it's just very painful to wait for new episodes. But still, please watch the show before you open this video. Okay, so now our review part on episode 1 to 3. I don't want to tap into what the 3 episodes are about because I assume you already watch the show. But basically, the show starts the same way as what you read from the Chinese version of the book. By the way, Chinese version of the book starts from Wang Miao and a Dashi's meeting, but the English version starts from the Cultural Revolutionary thing. I don't know which one comes out first, but at least the TV show is sticking to the Chinese version of the novel. So we see the big conference. We see Wang Miao was invited to attend a conference to investigate, the series of suicides from scientists across the world. And then the story tells us that there's an organization called the Frontier of Science that's closely related to the suicides of the scientists. So basically, Wang Miao go and visit Shen Yufei, a kind of a leader organizer of that organization, to trying to tap more information on the suicides. Especially there's one physician, physics scientist, Yang Dong, who is key to the story, obviously, who committed suicide because her particle collision experiment cannot get constant result. So basically, Yang Dong felt disillusioned. She lost her hope on life, on her career, on physics that she have devoted her life to, and she committed suicide. So basically, the first episodes of the show reveal a very small corner of the big 3-body problem from this story with a little bit suspicion, investigation, detective sense of feel, right? So quickly, my thoughts on the 3 episodes. First of all, I definitely love the first 3 episodes. 1 out of 10, I would score the 3 episodes I've watched 9. It's not a bad score at all. I mean, if you ask how much I score Liu Cixin's trilogy, I would say 9, maybe 9.5. This is the greatest sci-fi novel I've ever read. Probably the greatest fiction I've read throughout my life. But Liu Cixin obviously has its shortcoming. We'll talk about that later. So 9.59, it's a fair score to the original book. And it is just very hard for a 3-body fan to score any visualization work after the masterpiece higher than that. right? So 9 point is really the utmost respect you can give to Tencent, to the creators of the great show. So very quickly, a couple of quick thoughts on my review for the first 3 episodes. First of all, I'm just very glad that the 3 episodes are very truthful to the original book. Not only they tell the story in a close enough way, but also as a Three-Body fan, we are so excited to see all those signature famous scenes and the word-to-word lines from the book quoted in this TV show, such as how Shi Chang and Wang Miao met, such as the pool scene between Ding Yi and Wang Miao, when Ding Yi was trying to explain to Wang Miao what's wrong, what's messed up with Yang Dong's research, and reveal the facts why in the scientific arena, why a lot of people are just lost their hopes and decided to commit a suicide. And also the scenes where Wang Miao panicked when seeing countdown in photos and later on in his own eyes. These are all one-to-one reproduced from the original book. So I think it is very smart for Tencent, for the creator, to just keep all those memorable scenes that basically constituted major parts of the novel reading experience that we Three-Body Problem fans are really cherishing. Not only they kept those scenes, but they shot them in honestly a better way than I expected. So I really have no doubts that with the 3 episodes, the Tencent version of the TV show already stood and has been welcomed wholeheartedly by the book fans. I'm not really saying that I expect the TV shows should just follow the book word by word, bit by bit, without making any adoption, which was not what the TV show was doing. To my mind, I talk about Liu Cixin's work is masterpiece with a lot of great ideas, but Liu Cixin have its own limitations as well. That guy has the widest imagination and a structure in his storytelling, but he's not that kind of a perfect writer. You know what I mean? People often criticizes him. His characters are a little bit too flat, too robotic, without emotion, and talk in a robotic way as well. It feels almost like those characters exist in the book only to say what Liu Cixin wanna say and do what Liu Cixin wanna do or want them to do in the book. Well, to some extent, I agree with those criticism. But I'm just glad to see that the TV series are trying to make it right by setting up those characters in a fuller way and expand the supporting roles, which comes to my second point, that adoption is good to me because it basically expand the character, expand the story that they think are weak in the original book. I think one good example is Shen Yufei. In the book, she just seems like evil but mysterious ETO lady. whose function was basically, bring Wang Miao into the mystery and basically, I don't know, accidentally leak the existence of the three-body game so that Wang Miao could play and know more and review more of the story. And then out of nowhere, Shen Yufei, I remember, got murdered, right? By Pan Han, which is another character that the book barely touched, or the book didn't give enough a description to. But in the TV series, this Shen Yufei has been, inflated into a full character, at least based on the first three episodes. I think she serves the purpose as a, I don't know, connection, more like a needle and a thread kind of role that brought together the key characters. She brought together Yang Dong. She also met multiple scientists, including Yang Dong's teacher Freeman. Sorry, I don't even remember Freeman. Professor Freeman was mentioned in the book, but obviously, it makes sense in the TV show. So she becomes this kind of a key character, and also she is in the TV show, she's an obvious symbol of the others, or the superior power that Wang Miao and Da Shi were trying very hard to understand. Once we have a, I don't know, visible suspect or visible enemy, I think the show would be easier to understand for the new viewers who have no background of the book story. Also, another good example is Wang Miao's wife. I remember a couple of years ago when the book was just a start to get very popular globally. Many global readers mentioned that the wife's role is weird. The wife just show up, to take some pictures for Wang Miao, to prove that, okay, there's a countdown, and the countdown only impact Wang Miao, and that's it. She's just a tool. As Wang Miao's wife, the wife to the number one leading character in the whole novel, she barely appeared, and there's almost zero interactions between her and Wang Miao. People think it's just a weird way to tell the story. But obviously in the TV show, there are more to this lady. There's some very interesting details. After she took pictures for Wang Miao, but she sensed it that something's different, something's wrong with the hubby today. So then she knocked on the door, and she said, how are the pictures I took for you? So basically she just want to tap in and check what's wrong with her husband. But she said it with a very tender and a women way. This is a very interesting detail to just show what kind of wife she is. And also there's a part Wang Miao yelled at her saying, "Don't touch those photos. You stop." And no, the lady not only touched it, took it down, but also in a very challenging posture, which is very funny. And Wang Miao immediately just softened up and said, "Oh, I didn't mean it. I was just checking what's wrong with my camera and photos, like all other guys would do at home." So the whole family seemed real, in flesh. And obviously the wife and the daughter although they still didn't quite understand Wang Miao's confusion and dilemma and a panic, but they constitute a very solid harbor, a safe haven for Wang Miao, which is very warm part in the show. Even Wang Miao, the absolute leading role in book number one, Three Body Problem, which was criticized by book fans as too flat. She was just there to say things and push the story on. But in the show, Wang Miao is becoming a scientific guy with a lot of characters. He's definitely stubborn, self-assured, rebellious, never bow, to policemen or to any authority, which says bigger when even he started to panic later on. I think all those characters become more believable and lovable thanks to the adoption, and also absolutely thanks to the good casting. They did cast quite some tier one Chinese actors and actresses for the show. And the third part I want to talk about is probably the flashbacks, the montage we see in the first three episodes. Actually, people say the director, which is quite a new name to me, the director started his career as a commercial director. So basically, what he's good is with those montages, telling a quick small story in 10 seconds. But I actually don't think those montages are bad for the TV shows. Some think they're distracting and even confusing. For example, sometimes you see the scenes going back to the Cultural Revolution time, and sometimes suddenly the scenes cut back to go to the life of Yang Dong. By the way, even Yang Dong was not that much written in original book, other than the start of the story. But for my mind, all those flashes and jump through different timeline serves a purpose and work pretty well. First of all, at the least, it adds quite some atmosphere of tension to the show. So even for people who haven't read the novels before, at least the flashbacks help them connect the dots, help them understand, okay, something's going on here. If they don't understand it for now, at least those montages will tell them, okay, there's some missing part that very likely the TV series will tell you what's about it later. If you still remember the first time you read the Three Body Problem, I was lost too. I didn't get what's the purpose of telling all those bits and pieces. What's the panic? What's the countdown? What's the three body game? What's everything? Until suddenly, in the middle of the book somewhere, all the dots get connected, and then you realize, that's how. So I think those montages give a TV show viewers a very similar to the reading experiences for the book fans. That's why I think they are not bad at all, at least for someone who already know the story background. I think those montages are pretty helpful. But do leave your comments. Let me know, what do you think about those montages? or generally, what do you think about the show? Do you like it, or do you not like it? For what reason? You know how Three Body fans just like to talk to people endlessly on such things, right? Um, yeah. These are my general thoughts on episode 1 to 3. Very solid start of the show. Based on the 3 episodes, again, I'll give them 9 out of 10. Oh, by the way, a small detail. Do you know Logi showed up in episode 2 already? Episode 2, there's a montage also. There's a bird view, shoot of Yangdong's graveyard. Basically, it just hit me like a lightning when the camera give a close-up shot of ants climbing on Yangdong's tomb tablet. That's the moment I realized, gosh, this is a scene from the beginning of book number 2, The Dark Forest. So the guy in blue is standing in front of Yangdong's tomb, and the camera didn't show his face. I suppose if that guy is Logi, who will not appear until season 2 of the show, so they probably haven't decided which actor to cast for Logi. I have a couple of names in my head, but again, it is not easy to cast properly for Logi, especially considering book number 3, where Logi grew old and still, work as a curator for a human museum on a planet. So whichever actor they cast for Logi, they got to figure out how would the actor perform, and how would the actor look like when he's, I don't know, over 100 years. But still, this is just some tiny bit of details or Easter eggs I noticed in episode 2. Go check if you agree that guy is Logi or not. Anyway, that's the end of today's review. Hope you like it. Please like, follow, and click the little bell so that I know I should continue with the review series. See you next time on my review for episode 4 to episode 6. Thanks.